Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1380.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about, are we in a recession? Because apparently, a lot of Americans think we are. So we're going to talk about the reasons for that and the realities. So first of all, roughly 3 in 5 Americans believe that the U.S. is currently in a recession, according to a new survey of 2,000 adults that were surveyed by a firm. Of those respondents, most said a recession started about 15 months ago, in last March, and that it could last until July of next year, 2025, due to higher costs and more difficulty making ends meet. Now, everyone is noticing the persistent inflation that is causing households to have to pay a lot more money for everything. You go to the grocery store, groceries are a lot more expensive than they used to be. And in addition to that, we have higher interest rates. So higher interest rates really slow the economy, make financing things more expensive. And the price increases with the higher interest rates is really what is making Americans think that we're already in a recession. And when you look at the confidence in the economy, most people say it's at a low point, according to the survey. Now, officially, the National Bureau of Economic Research defines a recession as a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts more than a few months. The other way we look at it is 2 negative GDP quarters back to back, or declines in gross domestic product. That's the output of the nation's goods and services. There have been more than a dozen recessions in the last century, and some lasted as long as a year and a half. The last recession we had, officially, was in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. Now, when we look at gross domestic product, it's actually been increasing for the past several years, but nonetheless, 56% of respondents said they believe the U.S. is in a recession. And that's because of the sky-high prices for everyday items, and people have exhausted their savings and are now, according to reports, depending on credit cards to make ends meet, and some having even a difficult time making their credit card payments. Over the last year, roughly 8.9% of credit card balances transitioned into delinquency, according to the New York Fed, and more middle-income households anticipate struggling with debt payments in the coming months. So more and more households are really feeling stretched to cover the price increases and higher interest rates, and are really feeling the financial strain. It's a little bit different for people who are homeowners, because if you're a homeowner or have financial assets, you've done very well, according to Joyce Chang, JP Morgan's chair of global research. But obviously not everyone's a homeowner, and if you're leaving out non-homeowners, that's a huge segment of the population. So only the people with assets have been doing well, but the people that don't have assets have had a more difficult time trying to get assets, and interest rates are higher and home prices are dramatically higher. Chang said the wealth creation was concentrated amongst homeowners in upper income brackets, but you probably have about 1/3 of the population that's been left out of that. That's why there's such a disconnect. Yeah, so in my opinion, we're not technically in a recession. We don't have those 2 negative GDP quarters back to back. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that we aren't in a time of financial stress. We definitely are in a higher interest rate environment than we've been in the last few years, and prices, particularly of gasoline and groceries, are staying stubbornly high, and that's wreaking havoc with the average American family's budget. The good news is traders are anticipating a 100% chance of a Fed interest rate cut in September. In my estimates, that will be 1/4%, and the market is also pricing in another 2 possible interest rate cuts this year, 1 or 2, maybe in November and or December. So by the end of this year, we could see interest rates down by 0.5% or 0.75%, and we're already seeing interest rates at the lowest rate they've been since March. So they're starting to trend in the right direction in anticipation of the Fed's future rate cuts. So that will at least provide some relief on the cost of money, and that will ultimately help the economy overall. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more wealth tips for your financial freedom. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.